Democratic National Committee Chair and Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Madam Chairwoman, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Joy. Appreciate being here.
Well, let's get right to it. I think the Democrats had a successful debate last night, but it was on a Saturday night. It was one of a very few debates, only the third one so far. And there have been suggestions from supporters of both Bernie Sanders' campaign and Martin O'Malley's campaign that was designed to help Hillary Clinton. So I'll just ask you straight up, is the Democratic National Committee putting its thumb on the scale in favor of Senator Clinton?
Joy, I mean, let's think about this. Does it make any sense at all that the chair of a national party would want fewer voters to see our candidates? I don't control the schedule of the networks. We have 3 of our debates that are on network television, and those are on Saturday nights. We have 3 other debates that are during the week. And unfortunately, broadcast network programming is less flexible than cable network programming. If you look at the Republican debates that are on broadcast networks, those are on Saturday nights, too. It is unfortunate, but I can assure you, I didn't ask for our debates to be on a Saturday night. We have a combination of schedules between the candidates and the networks and our partners that really result in the way our debate schedule falls out. And this one fell on a Saturday night. And that's all it is. Nothing sinister.
Well, should there be more debates, and will there be more debates? Because there have been calls for that as well.
There will be 6 debates, and we've had a number of candidate forums, and there will be more going forward. But, again, as I've said this many times, I'll say it again, we need a wide variety of ways for voters to get a good look at our candidates. We had the 100th anniversary this year. We're having the 100th anniversary this year of the first in the nation primary in New Hampshire. And these voters take their responsibility very seriously. They like to kick the tires. They get the most up close and personal look in the entire arc of the campaign at the candidates. And debates are time consuming. They take a candidate off the trail for preparation, and their whole team gets fully engaged. So we think that a 6-debate schedule, particularly with 3 candidates in our race, is about the right number to make sure that our candidates can do the wide variety of activities necessary to make sure voters can get a good look at them.
Now, of course, the first question out of the gate, as expected, was about the data breach and the recent scandal over Sanders' campaign staffers accessing information from the Clinton campaign. The Sanders campaign has accused the DNC of bias in favor of Hillary Clinton. And I asked the question of one of your vice chairs, R.T. Ryback, yesterday, of whether, in his view, you personally favor Hillary Clinton over the other candidates. And I want to play you what he said. Do you feel that the chair favors the Hillary Clinton campaign?
I think the chair's job is to be fair, and I think the job of all of us vice chairs is to make sure that happens. And we have really robust conversations about what balance is, and it's not easy.
Okay.
There's no doubt about it. But I need people to know that there's a group of people who are part of the leadership of the DNC, and I will make damn sure as a vice chair, and so will others, that we do everything humanly possible to have a level playing field.
Now, Madam Chairwoman, that didn't sound 100% like R.T. Ryback, the vice chair, was saying that he thinks you're impartial. Are you impartial as to who the Democratic nominee will be?
Of course I am, Joy. I'm 100% impartial. My responsibility is to manage this primary nominating contest neutrally and fairly. I mean, let's think about this. I'm a member of Congress, and I do have a choice as to whether or not to continue as DNC chair and be neutral and do everything I can and put in the kind of time and hours and days on the road that I do to make sure that we can elect Democrats up and down the ballot and elect a Democrat as president. Or I could not be chair and go work for the candidate of my choice. I'm choosing to remain as chair so that I can fight like hell to make sure that the jokers on the other side of the aisle aren't able to get hold of the White House. That's because I care deeply about this party and our agenda and making sure that we can continue to build on President Obama's legacy. So any suggestion that I am doing anything other than managing this primary impartially and neutrally is ludicrous.
And let me just ask you, because there has been a fair amount of criticism of the DNC for letting this squabble between the Sanders and the Clinton campaigns spill out into the open. As we both know, campaigns and primaries can get ugly. There are always internecine squabbles. This is the first time in that we've seen it really borne out in the public in this way, and the DNC getting involved in that. There's been a fair amount of criticism of that. How do you respond to the notion that the DNC should have kept this in the family and not had it become a public scandal?
Well, we tried to keep it in the family. It was not us that blew this open into the press. What we were doing was trying to simply get the information that we needed once we learned from our vendor after the software glitch occurred that there had been a breach by the Sanders campaign staff, which I was glad to see Senator Sanders acknowledge that was wrong and apologize for. But his staff was simply non-responsive for at least a day, so much so that I actually am the one that had to call Bernie Sanders and inform him of the breach. He didn't know about it at all until I called him. But we didn't go to the press over this. We simply tried to get the answers to the questions that we had so that we could maintain or restore the integrity of our voter file. And when it wasn't forthcoming, the only tool that we had available to us to make sure that his campaign, if they had access to Hillary Clinton's proprietary information, was to suspend their access until they answered our questions. Once they answered our questions, once they agreed to cooperate fully with an independent audit, we were able to give it back.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, DNC Chair and Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. All right. Thank you. From